Hello.
Hello. Hi, James.
Hi.
Good evening, James. So good
Yes,
evening.
we are live now, right?
Yes, correct. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, for taking time this evening to attend this live webinar session that we are having. This is a continuation of HappyMeCarer Coaching initiatives, which we had started during circuit breaker. And this initiative has a mission to spread awareness of coaching and bring about an evolved change to masses mindset and advocate the use of coaching into their daily lifestyle to help individuals to engage their own willingness and motivation as they develop their career and personal growth. And actually, it all started with a passionate myself, who is a career coach. And I saw that big gap and the lack of awareness during my coaching with the young executives in their career development. So I help many executives to gain breakthroughs from the challenges through coaching. But despite the misconceptions, I believe coaching should be made available readily to everyone at work. Simply the fact that most people spend 50% of their time at work. Hence, we are here today. And, we are very happy to have James Lim, who is the newly minted CEO of Center for Career Excellence. In short, we call it CCE, right, James?
Yes.
And I
Yes,
remember,
yeah.
James, our first meeting, we just talked about how coaching brings immense value. So, coaching for yourself, James, why not you share with us a little bit of yourself, how you come about coaching?
Yeah, okay. A little bit about my personal experience first. I study in Canada. I have an MBA. I came across career planning from one of my professor. He insisted that all of us should have a career plan, right? So we all did a career plan, which I don't think it was that helpful at that point in time. It was like, this is like more than 35 years ago. Uh, and I reflect back, nothing nothing that I planned earlier actually came to fruition. It was a good plan. I basically, it was just by chronological, by what year what I want to do. And then one of my career aspiration was to be an entrepreneur, right? So I was very ambitious. I want to be heading an MNC by age 40 years old, right? So that was in my plan, to be a business leader in an MNC, okay, by age 40, right? So that didn't happen. Age 40, I became a business failure. Yeah, because I started to do business, right, and it didn't work out. I actually bought a cleaning franchise. Can you believe it? I bought a cleaning franchise from US. It's called Coverall, right? That didn't work. It was a total disaster. I became a cleaner myself for 2 years before I actually gave up. Yeah, because of the situation in Singapore, the American model of performance based didn't work out well, right? Over here, it's all man count, how many people you supply and things like that. Yeah, so it was a total failure. So at age 40, supposed to be a leader in an MNC, become a business failure, right? And because of that, I decided to go back to work for people, right? So from there, I joined even the government sector. Before I returned to the private sector, I was the GM for NETLI, which is a training institute for people association. Yeah, so that was the time when I came across training, but for community leadership, right? Yeah, so from there I joined after I found out that I was not suitable to be in the government sector. I think people like us who are in the private sector will have difficulty in trying to adapt to the way civil service works, right? Because it's very bureaucratic, and anything you do, it has to be a policy paper. You need to get it approved before you implementing, and then, so it was something that I was not used to, right? Uh, then how I came across coaching. Before I took over this CCE, Center for Career Excellence, I was working for a training company called AGB Education Center, right? So what we do is we provide employability training for the rank and file, right? People who are without the diploma, right? The less educated, So I came across a big group of students, okay, who attended some of our employability training classes. Their age is from 50 to 65. Oh no, it's 50 to 80 plus. Okay, can you imagine that? And they're all looking for a job. And
Wow.
yeah, they're all looking for a job. And then a lot of them came with the mindset that, nobody wants me, I'm old already, right? So then I thought that, hey, these people need a bit more help. I mean, training itself does not help them, right? So I thought that maybe introducing some specific skills training beyond the courses that they took up, and also introducing them coaching, right? At that point in time, I knew about CCE because CCE was one of our subsidiary, right? So I actually arranged for the coaches at CCE to come over to coach these students. So we actually incorporated coaching into their skill training. So meaning during the skills training, they will be given some career coaching session, right? It was a total disaster. What we ended up was doing career advisory and not career coaching, right? So I had to pivot because I didn't want people to have the wrong idea that this is career coaching, because it is not. What we will end up doing is talking to them about even applying for job on their behalf and things like that. And that was not career coaching, right? So I quickly pivot and say, okay, it's not career coaching. I'm going to provide you career advisory service. Yeah. So basically helping them to match what skills they have to the kind of industry they want to get into, what job they want. Right. So that was my first introduction to coaching, right? And it was a total disaster. Okay, but I still believe in coaching because I have friends who are coaches, right? And I've seen what they do, and I'm quite impressed because they do a lot of talking, and then at the end of the day, I see certain thing very concrete that comes out of it, right? To the point that even before this session, I was just sharing with Mavis that I'm also want to get a career coach for myself. Yeah, because I'm 55, right? I should be at the point where I don't think I should need any more advice, right? But I thought that being 55, the time spent left in my career is very short. If I were to do things on my own, I may need a bit more time because there'll be a lot of experimenting and things like that, right? So I still have some career goals that I want to achieve, right? So I thought that I want to shorten the time so that I can achieve them a bit earlier, right? Because I don't think I want to work until quite old, right? So I want to be able to spend more time with my family and things like that. Yeah, so that's coaching. That's how I come across coaching, and I decided I left AGB probably about 6 months ago. I had planned to start my own business because being a businessman was something that I wanted to do. That was one of my career aspiration that I wanted. Remember, I told you at age 40 I want to be the head of an NMC, right? So it didn't work. So I thought that okay, now I become an entrepreneur lah. At age 55. Yeah, so I was given this opportunity by CCE. The owner of CCE are actually Training Vision Institute, which is quite an established training organization in Singapore. I was given this opportunity to be part of this CCE project, and I thought that since I've helped the rank and file, I also saw the need to help those people who are PMET. Basically people who are professionals, managers, and executives, right? So I thought that with my corporate experience and also my belief in coaching, so I decided that I think through CCE, I'm actually passionate about helping people, especially PMET, especially during this pandemic, right? So a lot of people are losing their job. People need to change job because the skill set is very different. Right, so the certain jobs will be taken over by automation, computers, and things like that, right? So I thought that this is a good chance for me to do something to help PMET in Singapore. And here I am. Mavis asked me to see if I could share some insights or even my own experience, my thoughts on coaching, because I thought coaching is very useful. Yeah.
Yes, precisely, because the whole entire of HappyMeCarer Coaching initiative, right, is actually to help to spread awareness of coaching and, evolve the masses' mindsets. Like what you said, I agree with you, James. For yourself, you getting yourself a career coach, you're thinking of getting yourself a career coach. For me, personally, I self-coach myself. So usually, because I've been through the coaching route and questions I ask my clients and my coachee, they also presents the same questions that I asked myself during my entrepreneurship also. So I really understand where you're coming from. So it's very amazing, you join CTE with such a great passion and values and beliefs about coaching. So since you are heading CCE, what do you think CCE role to the community that you are going to bring forward?
Yeah, I reflect back. PMETs are normally people who are mid-career, who are probably 35 and above, that range of age. And I reflect back to what I was doing with a lot of the uncle aunties, right? And surprisingly, a lot of the uncle aunties were not actually rank and file. They were actually returning women to work. A lot of housewives who actually are quite very educated. They are accountants, they are lawyers, and things like that. It's just that they stopped working because they stopped to take care of the family. Right? Maybe after 20 years, they decided that they want to come back to work because after the children grew up already, or maybe some of their parents were no more around, so that they now can do something that they want to do. So I come across a lot of these uncle auntie. I call them uncle auntie because most of them are older than me. Yeah, but they are not necessarily less educated than me. Okay.
Yes, they can be C-suite level, right?
They are degree holders. They are degree holders. No joke. They are degree holders. It's just that they have left the workplace for 20 years. Some of them even more than 20 years. And they wanted to come back, and they had difficulty to adapt. Right. So I thought that, with this group of people, I decided that, perhaps that I also can help the PMET. Right. Because the difference between PMET and rank and file is that the recruitment is different. Right. For rank and file, the interview is basically you can get a job offer immediately after one interview. Right. Whereas PMET, you may need to go through 2 or 3 rounds of interview because the HR will shortlist you, then they will pass you to the head of department, and after that maybe even go to the CEO. If it's a senior position. So the way they recruit PMET is very different, but the mindset is still the same.
What
The
is this
mindset that
mindset?
nobody wants me. Like, a lot of people think that nobody wants me, or I'm too old already. I'm too old to learn new skills. I think that got to change. I actually I want to share with you that when I train all these uncle auntie, right? So I always tell them, look, I'm your GM, I'm your general manager, right? I ask them. I said, do you know how I first started my career? Nobody could guess, right? They were saying, oh, insurance agent, this and that. I said, no, I was selling ice cream. Yeah, can you imagine? MBA, I was holding an MBA, selling ice cream to start my career. So Magnolia ice cream. Like I have a driver with a truck that goes around to all the mama shop and selling ice cream. So that's how I started my career, because I believe in having selling skills. So it was that simple. It was that simple. Yeah. So I actually wanted to motivate them that no, it's not too late to learn new skills, right? And also, you don't really need to be embarrassed about who you are, right? Basically, I think you should be confident that you have certain experiences, and I think that this will be the same as what a lot of the PMET are facing right now, right? A lot of them lost a job, right? And they may be discouraged because after sending a lot of letters of application, no interviews, even some also never even bother to reply them, right? So they are going through this self-doubt, right? And I fully empathize it because after I left PA, I actually was out of work for 2 years. Yeah, I left PA thinking, oh, no problem getting a job because I'm a GM, I got a lot of transferable skills. A bit complacent, right? So I decided to, okay, maybe I just leave for half a year and then come back to the workforce. So half a year later, I applied for a lot of jobs. For 1 year, nobody wanted me, right? But luckily I was an active grassroots leader, so I didn't like, spend my time sulking. So I kept myself busy doing things, Yeah, so it helped me get through this stage, so that I didn't allow the situation to create any self-doubt. Yeah. So I thought that with my own personal experience in terms of being a PMET myself, right, and also being out of job for 2 years, I thought that I can empathize with a lot of my students at CCE, right, and I'll be able to help them by sharing them my experiences, and hopefully that they don't go into this self-doubt, because the moment you go into self-doubt stage, it's very hard to get out of it. Yeah. So don't ever be active. Right? Keep on applying for job. Get yourself go do networking and things. So, and also get a career coach. So actually, that's the message I want to do with this sharing with Mavis here. HappyMeCarer, right? Yeah. So I thought that I wanted to share a message which I will repeat over and over again. Get a career coach, because that coach will help you to look at the blind side, because certain things you cannot see for yourself. Right? So when Maybe says she can serve coach, I need to talk to her a bit more.
Precisely, James. So you see, that's why you get a point about self-doubt and mindset. And that is why when I'm doing my coaching, that is the very first thing that I will always deep dive with my coachee is about what is their mindset, what is the state of mind they are in when they are now. And how, because when we know their state of mind, then we move forward. Just like what one of our audience, Saeed, actually asked, what are some areas of coaching that people usually need or desire, right? So I would say is, in other than the problem that I usually encounter, I mean, James, you can share lah. Okay, so what happened is, other than the problem, for me, my experience is usually they don't know what they are heading to, or they are very uncertain, right? That's why you have your self-doubt, you have those mindset. So what do you think some areas of coaching that people usually need or desire based on what you experience, James?
Yeah, I think very, very clear cut. A lot of us are not very clear on our own career aspirations. We actually do not know what we want to do. Just to share a bit, just before I came onto this this talk here, I was just speaking to a close friend of mine, right? She's also been out of job, and she's been taking a lot of courses. So my question to her is, do you know what you actually want to do? Right? And then she tell me, oh, I want to be a safety officer. Yeah, so I thought, safety officer, that doesn't seem very motivating, right? So I actually helped her to rephrase it. I said, does it mean that you want to keep people safe at the workplace? Right? So you actually have to. So a lot of things that we sometimes we don't articulate, we don't communicate ourselves properly. So I think the ability to communicate the language that you use with yourself is very important, because you must have a wow factor in your career goals. No point to say I just want a job, right? I just want a job that pay me 1,500 or 2,000, whatever that is. That is not very motivating, not very inspiring, right? So when something is not inspiring, you will not follow through, right? So I think the biggest problem that a lot of people have, that you must have your own self-awareness of actually what are you good at and what would you like to do, right? And be brave enough to say I want to do this, right? It's okay, because once you have a goal that you want to aim for, it becomes a lot easier, right? Because then you start to think. I think I want to quote this motivational speaker, Anthony Robbins, right? He talks about focus, right? He says that the moment you focus on something, your attention, when you walk around, you start to pay attention to those things. He was saying that, okay, if you have a white car, right? You drive a white car. The tendency is that you will notice a lot of white cars on the street. It doesn't mean that they are more white cars than black cars or blue cars. It's just that because you focus on the white car, you tend to pay attention when the white car passes you by. Yeah, so that goes with career goals. If you are looking at certain career opportunities, let's say you want to be an entrepreneur like myself, right? So you look for opportunities. And when they pass you by, hey, I may be interested in it. And that's how I got the CCE job. Because I was looking at, I want to be an entrepreneur, right? So the CEO of TVI, when we had a talk, and they said, hey, why don't you, how about CCE? Do you want to be part of this project? Right? So if I didn't aspire to be an entrepreneur, it may not even click that I want to do this job. Yeah, so I think very important, I think awareness, I think that's where coaching comes into the factor, that you create awareness of what you want. Right? So I think that's very important because as a business manager, right, the biggest problem, one of the best skills in problem solving is to be able to articulate the problem statement. Because if you state the problem wrongly, you get wrong answers. So problem statement is very, very important. So I think that it applies here also when we want to go for a career aspiration. We must be able to be very clear on what our career goals, and then if this career goals must be something bigger than just having a job.
Yeah, you're very right, because I have a lot of coachee. They come to me and ask, maybe I want to get any job. I just want to get a job that fits myself. And then I ask, what is this job you're looking? Because the ocean is so big, and that's why one of my LinkedIn posts I actually posted and say, where do you want to fish in this big ocean? So like this morning, I just coached a young lady who wants to start her own e-commerce business. And then I asked her a little bit more of what is this e-commerce. So she knows her why, she knows her problem or her intention, her focus. And when I asked her a little bit deeper of, how do you want to go about in that? Then through the 30 minutes of coaching conversations, what she realized is that she then gave me an impacted information of, I know now what I don't know. And now I know what I need to work on from such a coaching session that we had. So in terms of career planning, like what you say, you a career coach and you advocate on career coaching, James. So what is this career planning look like for people?
Okay, so basically, it comes into four, I call it the 4 steps, right? So you need to articulate your career goals, your wow factor, right? So you must have a star that you want to go towards, right? So that's number 1. You need to have awareness of what you want to do, right? That's why I always say this question. You must be able to know what you feel good about yourself doing. That's very important, because you don't want to get a career, then you don't say, hey, I don't like to do this job, right? So end up spend a lot of effort to get the job, and then you don't enjoy it, right? So better go and get a job that you think that you like, that you're good at, and you enjoy doing it. So that's number 1. So it's the wow factor. Then the second step is to be aware of where you are right now. Okay, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Because to get the job that you want, it may require certain skill set that you need to have. So the question is, do you have those skill sets? Or it may require certain experiences, or do you have that experiences? So you must be able to assess where you are at this particular point in time. So you know where to go, where you want to go, and then now you know where you are. So the third one will be how to get there. Right? So that's where it comes to a career plan. So you must have a career plan, right? A career plan is basically to tell you that, okay, I need to do this to get from point A to point B. As simple as that. And then the third part, the last part, the 4th step, is to actually perform, right? And that's where I think coaching come into factor, because all of us have our own potential, right? And sometimes we are not aware of our own potential, right? So a coach may make us aware, hey, you have these skills that, you take it for granted, right? So once you are aware of these skills that you have, and then you be able to say, okay, now how do I make myself perform? So meaning to actually transit from having the potential to actually becoming a high performer. Because high performers normally are the best paid. You want to get good income, right? And you want to get good professional growth, opportunity for professional growth. So these are the people that are normally high performers, people who actually perform very at high standard at the work that they do, right? So these are the 4 steps, right? Know where you want to go, know where you are, know how to get there, and also to be able to put yourself at a level where you can perform at a very high level. And so I think that's why I say get a career coach. Because, you know what, if we don't have time, I'm 55, right? How long do I want to work until? So I can say I can experiment now. Okay, I don't get a career coach. I think I do. So I will do a lot of experimenting. As you all know, when you do trial and error, it takes time. Right? So why don't we cut this time lah? You know, get a career coach, someone that you can talk to, someone you can share with. They will help you to develop your career plan. They won't tell you what to do. They will tell you, they will support your career journey, right? And career coaching is not a one session thing, you know. So there's another story I want to share with you. I've actually attended some career coaching. I'm not too sure whether I should say it. It's not too good to say it. So I went to a place where they say have an appointment with a career coach. Right? So I went there. They got career coaching lah. They don't even do career coaching, but they have a title of career coach. Okay, not nice for me to say where. It's like an hour to 45 minutes, and they call it career coaching session. No, actually it's not. No, because I think career coaching is a journey. You know, it's a journey. To achieve your career goals, it takes time, right? You need to create a career plan, and then you need to follow up on your career plan, right? Once you decided to, thing is, once we make a decision, right, we must be disciplined to have a daily agenda where we remind ourselves, okay, this is what I want to do, and the reason why I'm doing it because I want to achieve certain things, right? So we must always go back. It's like when you take a flight, right? Everybody know you fly from point A to point B. The flight doesn't go one straight line. The flight actually goes jagged. I don't know whether you all know this, because of the wind factor. So they will need to adjust back. You know, if they want to fly from here to UK, for example, it does not go on the straight flight, straight line, right? As you fly up, right, the wind will blow you to the left, and then you need to come back to the center. So you're actually moving back and forth. So same thing, a career journey is like that also. You need to be able to take feedback. Right, and a lot of the feedback will come from your coach, because the coach will see what you're doing and will be able to tell you, hey, you know, James, you know, you are moving too far away from here, you know, remember what's your goal. So it's always nice to have people to remind us, hey, what is our career goal? Right? Sometimes we forget. Sometimes we we are overwhelmed by what we are doing and forget the purpose of why we are doing it. Yeah, so I think get a career coach.
Yeah, I think you point out a very good point, James, about career coach. As in the session that you've been clearly speaks a difference between a coaching session or a consultant or an advisory, right? Right. I think that is what you're trying to say also.
I'm not trying to say anything.
Okay.
Don't get me into trouble.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So what happens is that in a career coaching, right, many a times the 4 steps that you actually recognize and identify for us is actually very succinct. And what happened is that I would also add back about breaking down the career goals into a very systematic step-by-step. That's how I do for my coaching. That is the part where your 3rd step is how you're going to do it, right? And then the 4th step is every time when they do it, what I will do is I will always check back with them. What have they learned? What do they do? How they respond? So these are career coaching, or I would say coaching, not particularly just career, but it could be an essence of where the motive of the intention is. We want to bring you from where you are to where you want to be. But during this process of the starting point to the end point, the journey is where we set milestones, like what you said, right? Correct. So now, let's say, for example, like currently COVID, people are looking into, do you think people are looking into career planning, or what is it that they are after now? Because you see PMETs are people with career transitions. So what do you actually notice during this very unpredictable climate right now moving forward?
Okay. Basically, when we talk about career excellence or even career goals, career aspirations, you are looking at three parts. Okay, earning a good income. That's one, right? It's part of the career excellence. I cannot be excellent in my career if the pay is so lousy that I cannot even survive, right? So I
Yep.
wouldn't call it career excellence. So the second part of career excellence beyond income is meaningful work. Work that you really enjoy doing, rather than it's a 9 to 5 job, and I only work because I get paid on the 12th of every month or even 28th of every month. So that's only one day that I'm happy. The rest of the month I'm not happy, right? So when I get my money, then I'm happy. So number one, your income, okay, it's a good income. Second one is meaningful work, something that you really enjoy and you believe in it and you can be passionate about, right? And the third one is professional growth, because you want to be the best, or at least be among the best, right? So there are these three parts, and a lot of people don't realize that they need to set priorities. No point dreaming about being the best when you don't even have a job, right? So a
Yes.
person who is maybe looking for a job, when I do career advisory for those people who are interested to join CCE, to take up our courses, I don't sign them up like that, that's why I'm not a very good salesperson, because I tell people not to sign up, because what I do is during the career advisory session, I actually help them to determine what are their career priorities depending on their current circumstances. So the person tell me, I've been out of job for 1 year, I'm struggling to make ends meet, right? I will not go and tell them, oh, please go and attend class, because that's not a priority at that point in time, right? I say it's necessary because you need to acquire new skills to be able to qualify for good jobs, right? But I always tell them, okay, if that's the problem, then let's go and look for a job first. Once you get income earning, then your mind will be a bit more settled, because then you are not struggling, right? So career priorities, I think a lot of people don't put too much emphasis in having career priorities, right? So the three areas of career excellence, right? So you actually need to prioritize which come first. And I always tell people, earning income must come first, because unless you tell me you have enough savings, that you are taking a sabbatical to maybe go and change job, then obviously your career priorities are a bit different, right? But for a lot of Singaporeans now in this pandemic situation, where the economy is not doing too well, the latest we heard that Robinson is closing down for good. 162 years of history is going to close down just like that, right? And they are not even paying back people who actually bought mattresses. That's what I read in the paper. Yeah, so career priority is very important, because there are new businesses that are coming up. A lot of jobs will be lost, but new jobs will be created. But new jobs will require new mindset, different set of skills, right? So career priorities come very important. I always tell the people, get a job first, settle your income. Once you have settled the income, then you must come back to me and start, thinking about what courses that you should take. And of course, when you come to me, I will tell you, get a career coach.
That's good. That's good. Get a career coach, right? So
yeah, because you need to pay for the career coach, right? Unless you come across a very kind-hearted career coach who is like self-made, no need to make money already, can do pro bono for everybody that he meets, then different story lah. If you're lucky enough to have meet that kind of person, then good, fantastic. But more career coaches are professionals, right? They also have to make a living, right? More important is that they can help you to achieve success.
Yes.
And what you pay them is actually not significant when you compare to your success that you will get. Yeah, so I think get a career coach, pay them for what they do for you, and the only way you can pay them is when you have income. How to pay people when you don't even have income?
True.
Yeah.
So I noticed, James, when you talk about career priorities, right? So that brings me to a very interesting thought that I just had. When people nowadays, so many people are out of job, and because of this COVID, everybody are very uncertain of what is coming, and given to that you say, first you need to earn an income, right? So what if that this whole lot of people are trying to find that job opportunity, and income is a stress factor that they want to get, but just that, so no one is asking for a job opportunity, right? So that's the thing, is when you say priorities, when people start to say meaning, okay, so the next thing is income is something that I have to look for, but it's not happening. So the next priority is I want to look for what is the next job I want to create a meaning. Do you see that as a second priority or a third priority, or?
Okay, so what I do is when people come to me for career advisory, right? So what I work up for them is, okay, very important. No matter what situation you are in, whether you have been out of job for 2 years or 5 years or 6 months or just looking to switch career, I always want them to start from step number 1, which is to have your career goals, right? Obviously, depending on your current situation, you may not be able to get a job that is like directly what is your career goal, right? So they at CC, we actually work with another employment agency. I think maybe you have met that person, Fish for Talent. So I always tell the people at Fish for Talent, you need to help CC students, okay? And then they say, help them what? I say, if they're not able to qualify for the job that they want, can we identify a transitional job? Something related to the job that they want, but they are not qualified yet. They don't have the skills yet, right? So find a job that is like within that area of work, so that they can be a more junior position, that they can accept maybe people with less qualifications, but you still, because when you do that job, then it allows you to practice what you learn. So I thought at CC, what we do is we always identify transitional job role. Of course, if we can get you the job directly, then that's a perfect situation. It's very ideal, right? But it doesn't happen all the time, especially if you want to change job. It's very hard to get a senior position when you have not been doing that job, never done the job. Your skills may not be so, you're not that skilled yet, right? So going for a transitional job, maybe a lower position job, but doing that kind of work, because it will expose you, because you need to practice. Yeah. So I think that is very important. Very important that, it is good to, number one, put your income as your number one priority, because the moment you have income, you can do a lot of things.
Yeah, I think the income is a strong factor.
Yeah.
So usually during my coaching with my client, I always ask them, career goal is where you want to go, your ultimate aim, right? And always is about prioritizing that what I do is what is your desired outcome. Meaning that in order to reach that goal, what is the short-term outcome that you are looking at based on the reality you're facing? Correct. So this is the thing. So in this case, the type of CCE role in the community, what is this community of practice that CCE can actually be enrolling out?
Okay. This community of practice, actually, this was the foundation of CCE. The founder of CC is actually two-person, which is my boss, my previous boss, which is AGB Education, Agent Lim, and also the CEO and founder of Training Vision, which is David Kui, right? They believe that they want to help the PMET on the one simple idea, that when someone wants to transition to a new career, it can be a very lonely process, right? Because number one, you are entering into a new skills area where they are not familiar. Your networking is totally different from the one that you used to have. So you need to create new network, get to know more people in the area that you want to the industry that you want to go into. So when we talk about community of practice, that is the very foundation of CCE, right? So let's say, for example, you take our robotic process automation course, right? When you finish the course, it does not end there. We will form a community of all these people who are interested in automation, right? So together you will practice certain things. So we may even run contests. Who can build the best software board to do this particular job? right? So you keep practicing because unless you are happy, unless you are lucky enough to get into a job, a junior role in RPA developing, right? If not, then you need to continue to practice. So when you practice, it becomes your portfolio, right? So it's a good start. I think portfolio building is very critical for career planning because you need to build the portfolio. So you need to tell people that, oh, I've been doing this. It may not be a paid job, but I've been doing it. So I have certain skill set, right? All I need is to adapt. Because you cannot tell them, oh, I finished this course, I attended this class, 3-day program, 5-day program. After that, I never do anything with it. So who will hire you lah? Right? It's not realistic to say, I become an RPA developer after taking a 5-day program. Not possible.
True.
Yeah, people take 2 years, 3 years of experience, to actually become a business analyst or become an RPA developer, right? You don't become an RPA developer after taking a 3-day course. It doesn't work that way. So don't even think about it. So if somebody come to me and say, I want to take your course, and then after that I want a job in RPA, I say, please, this is the wrong place for you to come. I cannot guarantee you. So we take this community of practice so that people can practice, and also if they will be able to network with people in the industry. So we will be like one of the activity for this COP will be like, for example, like this, we will invite speakers who are actually in the industry and come and share with them what is the industry, what is the practice now, what are the things that they need to do, So community of practice is very critical for what CC is doing. It was the foundation of why CC started in the first place, because we wanted to bring people together with common interests so that they can do things together. And if you take let's say we are also a coaching school, right? So we also need to have a community of practice for coaches, right? So that they can practice their skills, the techniques that they learn from the instruction. So they need to practice, because you practice, you can become better and you become more competent, right? And you are able to do what you want to do. Yeah, so I think community of practice is something that very important as far as CC is concerned. In fact, it's more important than the actual training. But the actual training is critical because you still need to learn how to do the job, right? But practice is very, very critical. You, after learning the skills, you don't practice, you forget it. I think a lot of us know it, right? If you learn a skill and then you don't use it at all, high chance that you will lose it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's very good point about practicing about and building portfolio along the way, because portfolio is actually a journey, right? You can't take an overnight to build that portfolio. So now then the question is, we know PMETs out there who have been working for quite a while, and this period actually resulted in them thinking of transiting to other areas, because they take this opportunity, a cool-off period, right? Some people. So what kind of support do you think that CCE can provide over here?
Yeah, for people who are switching career, they have to put in a lot more work, because number one, when you talk about career goals, right, networking is very important, right? Besides the skills, networking is very critical. I've actually read somewhere that 80% of most jobs are actually through referrals, and not necessarily through advertisement, and then you sign up for it, and then you get a job. Yeah, I'm not too sure about the statistics, but I take the message that a lot of jobs are actually through referrals, people who recommend you, right? So through recommendation. So I think networking is very critical when it comes to switching career, because when you switch career, meaning it could be switching industry as well, right? It may be switching to a different job role, but within the same industry, then it's not too bad. But a lot of people are actually switching industry because with the current economic situation, the whole industry is affected. Let's say I'm doing assembly work for car manufacturing. Example. Okay. So when this economic recession comes in, it affects the whole industry. It's not a situation where I can change to a different company in the same industry doing the same thing. It's no more like that. In the past, maybe it's like that. right? People hop from one job to the other job, but still doing the same thing within the same industry. Now the situation is very, very different. You may be, if you're lucky, you're switching role within the same industry, meaning your industry is still developing, right? So your industry is not being irrelevant. So yeah, you'll be one of the lucky ones if you are switching role within the same industry, because then you don't need to do re-networking, because it's the same people that you know. But let's say if we were to change industry, wow, there are a lot of additional work, a lot of commitment need to come in, because number one, not are you, hopefully there are some transferable skills that you need to have. There will be some technical skills that you need to pick up. So that's why you need to have this community of practice. If you're picking up a new skill, you need to keep practicing, right? At the same time, practicing and getting skilled is only one part. You need to get to know people, right? If what I hear is correct, maybe 85% may be too high, right? But the general messaging is that a lot of jobs out there are actually referred or recommended. So you need to go into LinkedIn now. Yeah. To go join LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a social media for professionals, for people who wants to be executive managers. They're all in LinkedIn, right? It's a very common space. In fact, I want to share something quite shameful. I joined LinkedIn like maybe 4-5 years ago, thinking that I need LinkedIn to go and look for a job, right? I was fortunate enough that I got a job pretty quick, right? So I didn't even get into LinkedIn. I just signed up. I even signed up for the premium. I think the $40 a month thing. I've been paying the $40 a month thing every month for the last 4-5 years. Okay, but I was never active for 4 years. I never even go in until lately when I joined CCE. I decided to want to get to know more coaches, right? So I joined LinkedIn to sort of network with these people, right? So I only been active in LinkedIn for only 4-5 months, but I've been paying $40 for every month, for the last 4 years. So it's quite stupid for me, right, to actually waste money like that. But I thought that I realized that since I joined LinkedIn for 3 to 4 months, I get to know a lot of people. I get to know Mavis. I get to know a lot of people that I didn't get a chance to know, and these are all the industry specific people, right? So through LinkedIn, you are able to find out, okay, I want to know coaches. So I just go and search for coaches, find out, and when they always do a post, then I'll just go in and join them, share some insight, share some experiences, So that's how I got to know more people. And I think if you want to switch career, that's very critical. Networking, I cannot say any, is very, very important. More so for people who want to switch career. Yeah.
So it's like when they switch career, it's switching their focus for whatever their portfolio they have built up. So now when we talk about personal branding, LinkedIn, it's very good at like you are trying to build up content on your personal branding profile. So I get what you mean, as many a times it's about community practice. It's also about prioritizing your career goal. And not only that, it's actually the starting base of getting a clarity of where they want to go first. That is the career goal, right? So I can also, then whatever tool, linking tool that comes and falls within, it just becomes an action plan. So I need to do this, I need to network, and I need to learn new skill, communicating with people to learn and share and gather knowledge, right? So these are things that, I think how coaching impacts career. Today's topic is very true enough, is when you know where you are and you can break down to where you want to go through a desired outcome. And that's where, sometimes we do goal setting. But the very important for coaching is not just coaching never gives a solution, because I always tell my coachee, it's all about yourself. You can't say, does it make sense to me? Because it should make sense to you. You are the one that is handling, right? Rather than making sense to me. So usually coaching, how it impact career, is very much about how we want to make them realize in another angle. That means transporting them to another place to see from where our view, so that they can actually also have a change in the mindset. Am I right, James?
Yeah, very important. I think mindset is very critical. You must believe in yourself, because the moment you doubt yourself or you doubt your ability to achieve your career aspirations, you are already not starting off already, because you don't believe that this future belongs to you. Belongs to other people, but it doesn't belong to you. So the moment you have this mindset that you are not ready to achieve, then how do you want to get started lah? When you don't see a finishing line, how you want to start the journey lah? You will not even take the first step because you don't believe already.
Yeah, I think precisely the fact that what this actually also transmit to one of our audience, Saeed, actually mentioned, that how he was sharing that he came across professionals who view coaching as a luxury rather than necessity. So then, he was asking, how do we emphasize the importance of coaching to them? So that is why HappyMeCarer is actually on a mission to spread awareness on educating the mindset of the people about coaching, because coaching is not where people had a misconceptions of coaching. They usually misconcept with the word mentoring, right? Correct? Or advisory.
Yes.
Like you said, if you don't change the mindset, then how would you actually be able to get through and experience the coaching? So to answer Saeed's question is, how do we emphasize the importance of coaching is through an experiential learning. Do you agree, James?
Yeah,
right?
I think I agree with Sai. I think I also used to share what he's mentioning here. That I used to think that only the wealthy people, the rich one, have coaches. Then the rest of us who are ordinary people, coaching is not something that is not a necessity, right? It's a luxury that we can't afford because we are ordinary people. We have less disposable income, so we don't. It's like an atas, but I have a coach. Meaning what? It's like I have a car, I have a Mercedes Benz, I have a BMW, right? So I also thought like that. I always thought that coaches are for those rich people, not for ordinary people like us, right? This is not true. This is not true, right? Any of you can go and get a coach, okay? And I have this conversation with some of the CC coaches that what makes a good coach? What kind of coach do I want to look? So I always tell them, look for coaches who can deliver on three things, right? Three things. Someone who can make you aware of what are your career goals, someone who can help you to identify what are your strengths and weaknesses, and someone who can actually help you to actually develop your career plan. They're not there to give you a career plan. You yourself have to develop a career plan. They just guide you, right? So you have a coach that can actually help you to come up with these three things, and I think you will have a good coach. That coach doesn't have to be charging very expensive, as long as they're effective. So I don't know, maybe notice in LinkedIn, I used to put myself there CEO, CC. I changed that already, I label myself as an effective executive.
Yes, I noticed.
I don't go by title. I go by what I do. I'm effective. My main mission is to be effective. Right? I don't need a CEO title to make me feel good, to impress other people. To me, that's not important. I'm not here to impress people. I'm here to support them. I'm only 55. I have my own career goals. I want to help people to achieve their career goals as well.
Yes,
so Said, so don't worry. I think people think it's luxury. It's no more luxury. Anybody who listen to this talk, my message to them from the very first minute that Mavis opened this talk is get a coach, get a career coach.
Thanks, James. Thank you. So precisely is because I see that lack of the coaching awareness. The reason is because if you plainly were to look at coaching arena in Singapore, dominated by LHH, or you have your Marshall Goldsmith, and all these very renowned coaching institutions, they provide renowned services and luxury services to the C-suite level. But you have your PMETs, your professional managers, executives, and your technicians levels in a company, in the organizations who is helping you to operate your organization's operational skills, right? So precisely if all of us are spending 50% of our time at work, why isn't coaching made available for us? And why do we want to come across coaching as a luxury? Because probably, coaching has always been misguided by the term mentoring. They think that mentors can coach them. But when it comes to this morning session that I had, a coaching session, and I asked this lady, before you get through these 30 minutes of career conversation with me, or career coaching, what is your mindset of coaching? They say, oh, I think it's a seminar or a talk. And then I'll go, seminar or talk, okay, interesting. So go on. And I ask, after you have experienced the 30 minutes of career coaching, what's your idea of coaching now? And that impactful message was, now I know what I don't know. And now I know what I need to do, what I can do. So, and she said it's because precisely coaching gave a safe environment for a deep dive, that nobody has asked her questions, that nobody has actually intrigued. It's all about self-discovery on her own in an entrepreneur or starting on her own business, right? So then I say, so what impact did coaching give you? And that one word, that statement actually, she said, now I think, moving forward, I want to actually get more coaching sessions because there are many other challenges and questions I haven't answered and I never get to do. So what I made her to do was, okay, now list down the things you need to consider. So action plans and goals, right? You list down. Come back again, do your homework, go, and then we come back again and revisit. And then about reflections. So these are things that I think how coaching actually brings about to impact careers and impact people. It's not a one-day thing. It's never a one-night thing that we can do overnight. That's why HappyMeCarer Coaching Initiative's mission is actually to spread that awareness through a journey. And we are wanting to gather support from like-minded people, to actually try to spread that coaching awareness. Because if it's through me or James, your effort, two of us not enough, right? To
Yeah, we
impact
need
the
a
whole world.
community.
We need a community, really. We
Yeah,
need that
yeah.
community to build on. But never to say that is, after this session, it's not building community straight away, but it's actually bring that message across that one needs a coach. I myself do also have peer coaches that helps me to coach. And James yourself has highlighted in the very beginning that you're looking for coaches
Yes,
also, right?
yes. Yeah,
So,
so basically, I think we are almost at the end of the talk.
yes, correct.
Just want to share something before we end it up. Basically, my insight is this, okay? If you don't have a coach, you don't know what you don't know.
That's a good point. That's a
Yeah,
very good
without a
point.
coach, you don't know what you don't know.
Yes.
It's as simple as that. So get a coach, become more aware of what you don't know, like what Mavis shared just now, right? That is very important because the moment you're aware, you can take action. Without
Yes.
awareness, there's no action.
Very good. So it's that case that we talked so much about tonight. One thing for sure that we discovered is that the key traits about coaching is not asking a set of questions, because there are no set of questions, and it's about coaches staying curious to discover and design with the individuals a true sustainable model, so that in their professional and personal development, that we want to design that model out for them in their career development, right? Correct, James? Okay, I think we are nearing to our end. So I thank you, James, once again, thank you for sharing with us so much insights that we've learned tonight. And I thank everyone for taking time to see us through this 1 hour. Now, everyone, stay tuned to next week episode with Ivan Chong. We are going to talk about career conversations, how to create that career conversations. So thank you, James. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Everyone for
Good night,
taking
everybody.
time. Yeah, take care. Good night. Stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.